What? I mean, I get that it's a big home and she lived in it alone for a long time, so she didn't need the space but to padlock it like that? I asked her what was in it and she shrugged and said, stuff, like it was no big deal. I asked if we could open it since maybe that would be a good space for my home office and she said no. Now I'm really curious and it's actually sort of eating away at me. I don't care what is in the room, I just honestly don't get why it is padlocked shut. That's weird, right? Am I being unreasonable since I'm moving in? I understand the right to privacy and I wouldn't snoop, and couldn't if I wanted to. You couldn't even tell from the outside since it's on the second floor. I've been sort of paying attention now if she goes in there or not, and I don't think she ever does. I feel like since I'm moving in I have a right to know, but do I? I don't want to make her open it, but she's so nonchalant about it and changes the subject that my mind keeps running away with me about what could be in there. I'm just wondering what other people think, what I should do, and if I'm being unreasonable wanting to see or know what is in this padlocked room, or if I don't have a right to. Our relationship is amazing and perfect except for this one really weird issue. Relevant comments. Commenter number 1, this is straight out of a horror movie. You've been together 5 years, some ominous locked room in the house you plan to move into is a huge freaking no-no. You do have a right to know since you're moving in. Weird, creepy secrets should not be a thing in relationships. Tell her it makes you uncomfortable and you'd like to know what's in that room before you move in. OP, that's a good way to phrase it about it making me uncomfortable. Hopefully she knows I mean it. I'm really big on privacy and respecting privacy boundaries, but this really is just driving me up a wall. Commenter number 2, and while I know you two are big on privacy, you have to come back with an update on what's in the room. We need to know. Unless you end up getting murdered by the clown dolls from a burned down children's hospital that are locked inside. OP, oh god. I didn't even consider clowns. I will absolutely give an update either way. She's working an overnight tonight, so I will talk to her tomorrow. Commenter number 5, on a serious note though, has your girlfriend experienced any serious trauma that you're aware of? I ask because I also had a never go in that room. Last year, my daughter almost died in her bedroom. It was a CPR and defibrillator and ambulances and a world-class children's hospital involved level incident. She's okay now, but I couldn't stay in that house again. We moved out a week later and every time we went back to pack, I had to have my husband deal with her room, with the door closed. Just too many horrifying memories. Like I said, I know it's a stretch, but is it possible that something like that could have happened? OP, wow, that must have been so scary and I'm glad your daughter is okay. As far as I know there has been no trauma. But after 5 years I would have thought I would have heard about it by now, unless she decided to not tell me, which I would respect if it was that traumatic. Update, 3 days later. Hello Reddit, I promised an update to my prior post, so here it is. I would have posted earlier but I needed some time to digest things. I had a long talk with my girlfriend when she got home from work in the morning about the locked room. She tried to blow it off a few times and get out of the conversation until I told her I couldn't move in until she told me what was in the room and I saw it for myself. I told her I didn't care what was in there. After posting here I was more and more convinced that it was probably guns or something related to her work in law enforcement, as that really did make a lot of sense. Eventually she just broke down sobbing, big giant ugly sobs like I have never seen before. It was pretty shocking. She's not really a crier. It took a good 15 minutes before she could even start forming words that I could understand between giant sobs. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see, and I knew as soon as she started crying that it wasn't a room full of guns or work stuff. Actually, the room is empty. There is nothing in there. Someone had surmised in the comments of the other post that maybe there was some trauma. I forgot who it was, but unfortunately they were correct. She was basically a kid at 19 when she bought the house. Like I said, bad neighborhood, fixer-upper, etc., and it was dirt cheap due to the city she lived in and those other factors. She had always been smart with money, so she had a big down payment and was planning on taking the rest of her savings to fix it up. I don't want to get specific with details as it's pretty gruesome and also privacy, but in her 3rd week living there she had a home invasion while she was home in that room and she was assaulted. She had no money to move and no family around, so she stayed in the home after buying a security system and locking the door up and planning to just never unlock it and basically never go in that room again. So there you have it. I seriously was not expecting that at all, and it has been a long week for her and I feel terrible I made her tell me, but she says that she's glad I know now. She never told me before because she didn't want to, which I totally respect. Also, that is when she decided to start a career in law enforcement to help other people. FYI, I haven't actually seen in the room, and now I don't feel I ever need to.